Fox Weather's.
Now, a weather alert from the Fox 5 Storm Team.
And I'm Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Alex Forbes. We want to bring you up to date with the latest information on what's going on here in North Georgia here at 2:30 in the morning. We're starting off with a live look here over downtown, a very wet downtown. The rain has been falling for quite a while now. And take a look at this. In the past 24 hours at Hartsfield-Jackson, we have picked up over 4 inches of rain with a lot more rain to go. Here is Fox 5 Live Viper. We've got flash flood warnings for a good chunk of the area. This is going to be from Ellijay now down through Lawrenceville, McDonough, Spalding County, down towards Lamar County, and then over towards Coweta County. I want to take you down in here to the metro area, specifically inside the perimeter. This green flashing box here from Roswell over to Stone Mountain, down towards Riverdale and Jonesboro, and then up towards Cobb County. This is a considerable flash flood warning, and look at this. We've got some more heavy rain moving through that spot right now, and we're looking at a number of instances of flooding in that area. Take a look at these totals. This is just the past 12 hours. This is what the radar estimates. Over 5 inches there in Forest Park, close to that in southern Henry County. But for the most part, really right over the metro area and southward has been the highest rainfall totals. Now, this only part one, right? Part two down to the south. This is going to be where the center of Helene is, way down in central and south Georgia, south of Cordele and Eastman. You see it spinning right in that general area. We're going to be watching basically this rain that's Macon and southward now to begin to move into metro Atlanta as we work our way through the morning hours, and that is going to carry some wind along with it. Now, the red shaded area you see here, that is a tornado watch that is now in southeastern Georgia, extending down into Florida. But notice it goes up towards Augusta and South Carolina. The thinking is, for the moment, that that is going to stay out of North Georgia. So we're not expecting much in the way of tropical tornado activity anymore. And take a look at this, the power outage map. This is a loop here. You see it just keeps getting worse and worse in southern Georgia, and that obviously is where the strongest winds are right now. If you take you down into the Valdosta area, you can see it's going to be this really dark purple here where you get to 100% of the county without power, and really Valdosta down to the coast. And just looking at this now, I'm seeing that extend further north. Nearly half of the counties in and around the Macon area without power. And yes, here in metro Atlanta, we are already looking at power outages as well. If we turn on some of the numbers here, you're going to find about 12,000 customers without power in DeKalb County, about 8,000 in Gwinnett County, 7,000 there in Fulton County, and about 1,500 in Cobb. We are not expecting the power outages to skyrocket right now. That's later on this morning as Helene continues to track towards the north here. There's 4 a.m. You see that heaviest rain getting into metro Atlanta. That's when the strongest winds are going to be around as well. But the good news is, by the time we get later into the morning hours, there's 9 a.m. there. It looks like the center of Helene moves far enough north, and then it's going to be a quick shutoff of the rain. And we're going to be looking at clearing skies as we find our way into the afternoon. Let's check out some of the wind gusts here. I think that things are pretty much on track. Here we go, 3 a.m. There's 4 a.m. You see the heaviest of the wind is going to be just south of Eatonton at this point. And then we find our way here through the morning hours. You're going, okay, 40, 45. Well, this is picking up on specific points. I think you mix in some of these stronger gusts here, especially as we are looking at the east side of the metro area and then out towards Athens. Now, the Fox model here has that center of circulation. That's going to be really Lamar County and Henry County, and that's right on track with the National Hurricane Center's track. So I would buy into this. I would expect our power outages to really begin to jump up 5, 6, 7 o'clock this morning. And then again this afternoon, we're going to have some issues with the power restoration because we're still going to be looking at wind gusts over 20 miles an hour here through the afternoon. So here is the track. Helene, now a Category 1 hurricane, expected to pass through metro Atlanta with sustained tropical storm force winds this morning, and then it's going to get on out of here, and that is going to be that. Now, as we find our way through the morning hours, we are going to be continuing to monitor that damaging wind threat, the heavy rain threat, and the power outages. That's the way I see things right now. Now, we were talking about Valdosta a minute ago, and we were talking about a lot of places without power, and including, really, for that matter, most of the county. We want to go down there now. Fox 5's Tyler Fingert, he rode through the eye wall, essentially. Tyler, tell us what that was like and what you're seeing now down there in Lowndes County.
Yeah, hey Alex, good morning to you. I'll tell you, things have calmed down significantly here in Valdosta from what it was earlier. I'm going to turn on this light here because it is pitch black because the power is out here in downtown Valdosta. The closest things to the camera right here are definitely the tree limbs that you see all over the ground. We're moving the camera so you can get a better view here. It's still drizzling a little bit. You see the tree limbs right here, and then I'm going to move this light just up a little bit to this business right here. You'll see the metal siding ripped off as the eye wall of Hurricane Helene moved through this area, and that was just about two and a half hours ago. It was very strong winds. This hurricane packed quite a punch as this storm system moved through. As we pan this light over a little bit, you'll see this for sale sign for what was a property just nearby from where we are. Obviously, they're not selling the road. That should be probably about 20 yards away in that vacant lot just up the street. Unfortunately, though, that wind just moving it so easily, it honestly felt like it was just flying across the sky or flying across the ground, considering it was, I mean, it's a heavy piece of wood. We tried to lift it earlier. It was like about 30, 40 pounds, so it's not something light. And then we're going to put the light up a little bit. You'll see that is an awning that should be on a building that is no longer. I mean, there's just debris scattered all throughout the ground here. Lots of tree limbs, lots of different pieces of tree debris all over here. Again, the power is out here in downtown Valdosta, and this is unfortunately going to be the site until power crews are able to get to work at some point early this morning, maybe first light at about 7:30. I want to bring in Antonio Tillman, who actually was riding out the storm here in downtown Valdosta. You were nice enough to let us into your home, or where you were staying during the height of the storm when that eye wall was coming through. What was it like? What were you experiencing when all this was happening?
Man, I was just praying and just hoping everybody was okay. And it's probably the worst storm I've probably been a part of, man.
You said you've lived here in Valdosta your entire life. I mean, we had Idalia last year. I mean, what made this storm different than maybe what you saw in previous storms?
Maybe just the wind power. The wind power was just way stronger than it was last year, and it was way longer than it was last year as well. And like you said, as you look at just so much damage on Ashley Street right now, so I'm hoping the rest of Valdosta is okay.
So you do not live here. You live about 5 minutes away from here. What have you been hearing from people you know in this area about what they're seeing in other parts of Valdosta?
There's, like you said, a lot of debris and a lot of people without power. So it's just hoping everybody just out there surviving, man.
Yeah, I mean, 63,000 people is what we heard from the EMA without power here in Lowndes County. And then I believe one of you guys were saying that there was floodwater possibly heading into someone's home that you guys know. I mean,
yeah.
So this is not just a wind event and rain. People's homes are possibly flooding here.
This is actually real life happening out here. This is real life happening out here. I hope everybody's okay and I hope everybody's staying safe.
Did you expect this to be like that? I mean, they've been warning for a couple of days that this storm was going to be pretty bad, but did you expect what you saw and what you're seeing right now, some of the damage?
I really didn't expect it. As I started looking at the news and looking at the storm, it just seemed like it was going to be one of the worst things we experienced in Valdosta.
And I mean, it's kind of a crazy situation. If you want to pan off, you can just show some more of the damage, Chris. But with all of that's been going on here, I mean, you guys have been riding out the storm. You guys did the right thing. You stayed indoors. You stayed away from the windows. What was your thought as all of this was unfolding? I mean, were you concerned for your safety when all this was, when that wind was just howling and when you were seeing things fly across the ground?
I was a little concerned, but being in the brick building that we're in downtown, I felt a little bit safe. But just hearing that wind, it still kind of got you a little scared a little bit.
What did that wind sound like for you? How would you describe it?
Well, my daughter, she thought it was someone hollering outside. So I guess that was the wind howling and hollering and whistling. It was real loud, man. Hearing everything knock against everything and all the damages, everything was just real loud.
And Tony, I really appreciate you talking with us and being a part of and telling us what you were experiencing out here. I mean, obviously this is a situation that you guys are down here. You're going to be here for the recovery efforts, and I appreciate you letting us in during the height of the storm. I mean, it was obviously a very scary situation for a lot of people who were probably here, and I do appreciate you letting us in.
Yes, sir.
And I want to send it up to Atlanta, where Mark Teichner is following some of the damage or some of the the storm as it's moving into that area. Mark, what are you looking at right now as the storm is approaching?
Yeah, Tyler, not a lot of wind here. In fact, pretty calm, to be honest, with the wind. It's just this drenching rain that we have been getting, as everyone knows, for the last couple of days. And as a result of that, we do have a tree that has fallen on this home here on Caspplain Street in southwest Atlanta off of Metropolitan. This is a big tree and has completely blocked off this house. There's a vehicle that's stuck underneath the tree. And unfortunately for the family that was inside, they were trapped inside the home when all of this took place. They say it was about 1 o'clock. They were all asleep. They heard a loud bang, and then next thing, the daughter of the resident who ended up talking to us, you're going to hear from in a second, says she was stuck inside her room. She couldn't get out. Her brother went to rescue her, get her out of that room, but they found themselves all trapped inside the home. So the fire department actually had to break a window on the side to evacuate them. They did manage to get out unharmed. Obviously, that's great news. Unfortunately, there's just about 1 or 2 rooms inside this house that didn't suffer major damage.
We was just asleep and we heard a big boom, and I heard my son on the other side yelling he can't get out, and my daughter was trapped in her room, but my son was able to get her out. And that's it, and called the fire department, and they broke a window to get us out.
Again, good news that they're uninjured. Unfortunately, their stuff really badly damaged, as you can imagine. Now, we've been driving around, and what we're seeing is heavy rain, difficult driving conditions, but we haven't seen a whole lot of wind. Unfortunately, that is likely going to change as the center of Helene gets closer and closer to us, which means all of these water-soaked trees, once they start getting the wind, could start coming down. We're expecting to see an awful lot more power outages, as well as trees landing, hopefully not on homes, but possibly being the case, blocking streets. So if you are out driving in the middle of the night, and really you shouldn't be, but if you are, make sure you're going very slow and expect the unexpected, because you could be driving down the road and next thing you know, there's a tree that's right in front of you. We're going to, of course, stay in the Fox 5 Storm Chaser, and we're going to be tracking things throughout the overnight hours. But for now, that's the latest from here in southwest Atlanta. I'm Mark Teichner. Back to you, Alex.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. The other thing I want to point out this morning that we really need to keep a close eye on and that we're watching closely here at Fox 5 are the creeks that are flooding. North Fork Peachtree Creek at Buford Highway is in major flood stage. South Fork Peachtree Creek at Johnson Road is in moderate flood stage, and the major flood stage for Peachtree Creek at US 41, that's going to be in Buckhead there, and then Nancy Creek at Rickenbacker Drive, that is in major flood stage. Mark was saying to watch out for the trees, also watch out for the ponding on the roadways. I ran into some this morning on Interstate 85. 2 lanes had water completely over it, and I didn't see it until I was right there. All right, Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Joanne Feldman has joined us here.